Hello everyone, this is Kyle at Mr. Gardens, and today I wanted to give you an update tour on our showcase garden and what's new with it and what's blooming right now. We've had a hot couple of months with temperatures in the high 80s, it seemed every single day, and some 90s, and literally no rain. But the temperatures have finally cooled down, and today I think the high is 72, so it's lovely, and it's just a fun time to be in the garden this time of year. And there's lots of things that have grown a lot and have bloomed since the last time we looked at it, so let's get going. The first thing that's changed is we have an entrance to the showcase garden now. It's actually quite large, so you can actually see it when you're actually shopping, and it kind of invites people back. Before it was kind of like, are we allowed to go in here? We're not sure. Is it the neighbors? Who knows? So now it's pretty obvious. So we've enjoyed having that. And this first thing that we have that's kind of flopping, unfortunately, because I didn't Chelsea chop it this year, is a Maximilian sunflower. And then even though it's flopping, it just has the prettiest flower on it. So this is a nice native plant. It always has pollinators on it, and afterwards, the goldfinches love eating off of it. And I'll show you another plant that's similar right now that the birds are loving in a few seconds. And over here we have our Grand Cascade butterfly bush. And this is one of the few butterfly bushes that we have available at the garden center. And we just like this one because it has these giant panicles of flowers on it. And it doesn't get much taller than this, but it will sprawl out to up to 7 feet wide. This one died back to the ground this year and grew this much. So very vigorous grower. This grass has shot up a ton since the last time we've done a tour. This is a hardy pampas grass. And we do have this one finally available at the nursery. So it shoots up grass about, I don't know, what is this, like 4 feet tall. And then it'll shoot up these beautiful flower spikes. They haven't bloomed yet. They get like 12 to 14 feet tall. So it's like a very striking plant. We have a group of 3 of them. Even one of them would be really pretty. We had a volunteer cardinal flower. It's kind of out of place, but we just left it. Here's that other plant I was talking about, the Cutley Rudbeckia. When it was blooming, it was really pretty, but now it has seed heads on it. And the goldfinches love it. So every time I walk by, like to water the stuff in the hoops, or I'm just walking by, the birds, you can always hear the bird go chirp and then fly away. Our elderberry here hasn't fully berried yet. It's covered with berries, they're just not ripe. This plant here, if you saw our short, is a New York State ironweed, which is blooming right now. And it's been blooming for quite a while. Here's what the flowers look like. These are a little past prime. The newer flowers have a little bit of white in them as well. And the bees and butterflies love this plant. Nothing too much new over here. We've done some maintenance, so we chopped back the daisies. The 9-barks have grown a lot. So this is probably their max size. So this is a tiny wine 9-bark. It's just a really nice size and color of 9-bark. And we actually will have those available next year at the nursery. And then our coral berries, we just have a couple of these left at the nursery, is a native shrub. So they have a little flower that the bees love during the season, and then they get covered with those pink berries I just showed you. So it's a really pretty plant, and the foliage is really pretty as well. Over here we have our hydrangea garden. So we have a couple different species in here. So this arborescens, Invincible Lace bloomed earlier, and it was really pretty. And it still throws up these little tiny blooms, like that one right there, but nothing compared to what it was earlier. Our panicle hydrangeas are blooming right now, so we got a couple of different ones. We got the limelight, which this is like a third of the size it'll eventually get. We got some smaller ones that stay on the small size over here. So this one is Bobo. That one maxes at 3 feet. And we have pufferfish that maxes at 5 feet. So those will kind of like grow into each other, I guess. And then we have our PG hydrangea, which is one that can get up to like 20 feet tall apparently. And it's a little bit droopier, but it's very pretty. And of course we have our black-eyed Susans. Those have been blooming for like forever, it seems. And then here's our pink diamond hydrangea. The bees are, actually this is covered with like these wasps or whatever they are. I don't know what they are. So each panicle has like 5 of them on there. So yeah, it was so dry that even these black-eyed Susans, I was like watering them every day, which is crazy. Here's a new plant that I planted. This is native to United States grass. It's Panicum virginicum. It has like really pretty airy seed heads. Our astilbes bloomed. I guess we missed those in the tour. But this pumila is a nice variety because it just continues to spread every year, but not like super aggressively. Here's our pink Coreopsis rosea. This is a nice front the border Coreopsis, and one that actually prefers a little bit more moisture. It's a little bit different, which is nice. This has been blooming for a really long time too. So we had the yellow Z-grab bloom earlier this year, and then this one kind of took over. So if you plant a couple different types, you can get a really long bloom season out of Coreopsis. Back here is our Miscanthus giganteus, and I don't know how tall that is. I'd say it's about 10 feet tall, and it hasn't shot up its bloom spikes yet either. It's looking a little bit dry from the 2 months of drought. I did supplement water it, but I think I waited too long because I assumed the plant would be okay, but it wasn't. Our cardinal flowers have been blooming for a really long time, and I planted a bunch of babies. So these little tiny ones down here that are actually blooming are ones that I grew from seed. So they're first year plants, so they'll look like these next year. Behind it, we had our Veronicastrum that was really pretty. It's out of bloom now. We got our blue, great blue lobelia, which just started blooming maybe like a week ago. And that's a very pretty plant. I planted a ton of them because I wanted an awesome drift over here. And this is pretty. The Picantha unicum kind of flopped into it, which I don't know how I feel about that. I do want the plants touching, but I really wanted, maybe I gotta make this drift go more this way or something, or take out some of the Picantha. But yeah, anyways, this is a really beautiful plant, and the bumblebees love it. Also, native plant, Solobelia syphilitica, and that's available at the nursery. So I think most of these plants that I've showed you before are available at the nursery. Oh, I skipped over that sedum over there. So sedums are really nice all times of the year. I like them because they push out of the ground really early in the spring, and the foliage always looks really nice. And then they're starting to bloom this time of year. Oh, and did I forget the bone set? I'm just skipping over plants. This has been blooming for a couple weeks. It's a native plant. I think it's closely related to Joe Pye weed. I don't know, I just think it's really pretty. Pollinators love it. That plant, I do chop off the blooms because I want a nice, stand of them, but I don't want them spreading all over the place. Back here we have that one Rebecca back there. I showed you the cut leaf Rebecca. This is just a different cultivar. So that one has like a fluffy bloom on it that looks like a dahlia. We don't have this one available yet at the nursery. I tried growing it from seed and it didn't work, so I might need to do division or something. That one's really pretty. We just recently planted a limelight here. Oh, and then behind the limelight, we got our Joe Pye weed. That one is a nice cultivar called Gateway. And then over here, just starting to bloom, is our obedient plant. I think like Physotechia virginiana or something. I'm gonna skip over a lot of the stuff that isn't blooming. This is our garlic chive. This is actually like an herb, but we use it as an ornamental. And it's beautiful. It took a couple years for it to look like this, but look at all these blooms that are popping up out of it. It's loaded, and the blooms are beautiful. And if I remember correctly, they smell good. Can't really smell them from over here, but if you get up close, you can smell them. What is this? What is our Japanese beetle still doing? Ugh. Not too much blooming over here at the moment. I planted a ton of dahlias. None of them, well, not none, very few of them have bloomed so far. I feel like I wanted to show something. Oh, we have an aromatic aster. So this is a really pretty late blooming aster with just really like the prettiest purple flower. So I highly recommend that plant, but I also chop the seed heads off of it for it doesn't spread everywhere. This is Rosa glauca. So this is a known as red rose. So it bloomed earlier, only blooms once, so we leave the hips on. It doesn't matter if you deadhead it or not. Here's a really cool looking Rebecca that we bought for the garden last year called Henry Eilers. It's another one that I tried growing the seed from and I was not successful. So I don't know, I will have to try different methods, but that's really pretty, really unique. Here's a new Gara that we got. It was out of bloom and then it just started blooming again. This is Gara Siskiyou Pink, according to the tag. So we got it from another native plant nursery. So we're hoping that this will fill in this area right here. So this part of the garden isn't as mature as over there. So we're hoping that this stuff grows more and will kind of fill in and you won't even see the ground eventually. Over here is our Lancera sempervirens, which is a native honeysuckle. We'll have this available at the nursery next year. And it's been blooming for a really long time, and the hummingbirds love it. Getting towards this side, there's a lot blooming over here right now. So this is the rose mallow. I think that's just the prettiest pink flower. It's a new plant that we got from another nursery, Pearly Everlasting, another native plant. I like the color of the foliage, I like the flowers. Here's my Rebecca triloba. I waited we planted this last year and I waited for it to bloom. And it had the hardest year, I think, with the weather being so dry. I mean, so it's pretty, but the hose like barely reached this far, so it didn't really get watered that much. But I definitely love the flowers on it. This is the straight species of echinacea. And then we have some Achillea millefolium over here. It's throwing up some new blooms, which is cool. This has been blooming for a really long time. It's a native yarrow. It has white flowers and it's just a pretty texture. Let's see. Over here we have our wild senna plant. Has lots of action on it right now. It's just like a really pretty plant. This is a plant that we got from another nursery last year. We actually have it available at our nursery now because we grew seed from it. But this plant, when I got it, was just like a couple of stalks that were like this big. So like it grew massively. So this is a perennial and it dies down to the ground every year and then shoots us back up. Ooh, I see a flower blooming that I haven't seen blooming before over there. We'll look at it in a minute. This is our red fountain grass. This is not native. It's actually quite invasive. So when it's done seeding, we always chop the seed heads off and toss them. But it has really pretty seed heads. And this used to be at our house, but we moved it here. And it's actually loving this spot because it never got this big at our house. So these are 3 plants right here. And the bloom spikes will eventually get above the canopy of the grass. Here is a dahlia that's actually blooming. This is a cafe au lait. Haven't really watered it because the hose doesn't reach this far. So it's doing pretty good. Here's a variegated Joe pieweed. Just starting to bloom. Our northern sea oats. So it looks completely different in the ground than it does in a pot. It's a lot taller, and these seed heads are just crazy beautiful. It's another cool native plant. I guess it could be aggressive if you leave the seed heads on. You could always chop them off if you just want them to look pretty for a while. This plant got so big it's kind of eating into my drift of these. I think I planted 5 or 6 of those grasses last year. Here's a pretty sedum, like the other one I showed you. It's just starting to think about blooming. Not too much going on over here. I did some cutback. We have our blue grass over here. I think it's kind of flopping in one direction. I'm not sure if that's a natural habit of it, but I think it was flopping this way because we had the daisies right here and they were like 4 feet tall. So I think it was kind of starting to grow that way. And then we have a native phlox blooming right here, the Phlox maculata. All right, so let's look at this garden over here. This is our new garden for this year. We haven't added too much to it. We want to extend more this way this season now that the weather's a little bit better. It's hard to like create new beds when it's just so hot out and the sun's blazing. Wow, this is beautiful. Look at all these flower buds. So this is, I don't know what the scientific name for it, but it's a blue mist flower. It's a native flower. Can we zoom in on that and focus. There we go. Nice late blooming flower. I've been waiting all season for it to flower. I've been keeping it nice and watered. Kind of the only thing blooming in this bed right now. We have a couple oddball. There's like Igela bloom. We have some other things that are thinking about blooming. Like we have this one, the blue stem goldenrod. We have a seaside goldenrod. And we have another goldenrod. What is that one over there? I think like a wrinkle leaf goldenrod. So this is our first year. I planted them before. I haven't seen any of them bloom before. So I'm excited for that. This wisteria, we still got to put up a structure for it, but it really wants to grow. And then over here we have our big blue stem grass, which is starting to seed out. And when we planted this, we took one plant and split it to 3. So I bet if we left it as one plant, it'd be more glorious. But we wanted to save some money. Don't worry, the nursery that we bought this plant from, that we split into 3, we ended up spending a ton of money there buying tons of other plants. But this one plant in particular, I was like, I think I can split into 3. And then we did. Oh, and then this thing right here, the Aurelia spinosa. Look at the leaf on this. This is why I wanted this plant, because I think once it grows to full size and it just has all these like leaves on it, it's spiky. It's called the devil's walking stick because it's a spiky plant. I think it's gonna be really pretty. We have a volunteer coralberry. Is there anything new else in here that I'm missing? I don't think so. We got a couple mums that we had left over that we planted from years past. Oh, we got a volunteer plant over here I haven't seen before. Look at this. That is cool. I did not notice this was here. We're really bad at weed management apparently. So that's Maximilian sunflower from over there. So that's kind of cool. I think I'm gonna end right here because it's shady. Oops. All right, there we go. Thank you for watching our video today and seeing what's new in the showcase garden. This garden is open for anyone to view during our business hours if you are local. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.